Hey, good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. So it's 7 a.m. What am I saying tonight for? This morning's episode, we're going to be discussing to be canceled or not to be canceled. That is the question. That and a few other things this morning on 7 a.m. Well, good morning. Hello, hello. Well, I'll tell you why I'm stumbling my words this morning a bit. Um, my coffee machine, which I use every morning, I set it up in the evenings. So in the morning, it just turns on and I wake up and the coffee is made. For some reason, it did that burning thing where it kind of like overheated it or something, and it got this burning taste, and it's disgusting. And there's nothing that ruins my morning routine than a bad cup of coffee. Yeah, I don't know what. Ugh. Anyway, I'll have to resolve that as soon as I get done here. But yeah, my coffee sucks. So yeah, so wanted to. One of the things that I've been kind of contemplating lately is should I continue to speak the truth? And when I say the truth, I don't necessarily mean my truth, right? Because people will say, well, that's the truth the way you see it. No, I'm talking about things that are actually proven that I can actually show someone. I said, look, see right here where it says this? And do you see this video? And do you see this person saying this thing right here on this? You see that this is the as much proof. So that's the truth, right? Now, of course, I'm always trying to seek to live with the truth, right? Which we're going to be talking a little bit about from the Way to Happiness booklet, a common sense guide to better living, right? And this is it right here. I always have it with me. Again, you can get your free copy of this book. All you have to do is just send me an email to johnhenrysoto at protonmail.com, and I will get one out to you free of charge. Um, and I could also, if you want to read it on a computer, I can also send you the ebook of this as well if you don't want the physical book. Some people like the physical book. Some people like just have it on their phone or on their Kindle or their tablets or whatever. But either way, I can send that to you. And the what fits, because I always find my conversation in the morning always there's always something in here that actually relates to it, right? Or it's one of the things that I live by. And number 7 here is seek to live with the truth. And this relates to this cancer culture that we're currently experiencing in America generally. Other countries have it as well. They call it communism and socialism. They have different names for it in different places. Um, but here in America, it's a new thing. This is still a new country, believe it or not. It's only 230 plus years old. Um, a little bit more than that, I guess. But it's not a very old country. And we're sort of the new kids on the block when you really look at the developed countries around the world. And but we've also made tremendous leaps ahead of everyone by far. I mean, we came in like kids, and we're sort of like the Mozart of of government. We're the Mozart of civilization. We got it right, with the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. For those of you who actually are interested in those documents, that it's the reason why we have the freedoms that we do, and it's the reason why we have cancer culture as well. People have freedoms on all sides, so you can have the freedom to be offended. You can also have the freedom to offend, but it's the ones that are being offended that are the ones that are sort of discarding our liberties and our constitution. Which, by the way, I have a couple of I don't have them with me there on my bookshelf, but a couple of really great little booklets, not booklets, they're little books, hardcover, but small, with the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. And I bought those last year, as well as the Federate. I'm gonna get those real quick. Why not? I always have my bookshelf close by. So here they are. This is these great little booklets. You can get these on Amazon. Um, they're not cheap. They're, I think, like $10. They're really small. They're not really big, but they're $10 each. But they contain everything in here, and I like that image. Um, and the Constitution and the way these booklets operate, they have everything in there. All of the Constitution written out. The Declaration of Independence, which, if you haven't read it, if you just know about it, but you haven't really sat down and read it, it really is incredible. I mean, it's a story, right? It's sort of a letter stating, listen, we ain't playing. Right? There's three sections to it, right? There's the opening section of what's occurring. There's the middle section of the grievances that America is having with England, right? Or with with Britain, right? And then at the end, there's a sort of the declaration, right? Um, and then at the end, it's all the people, a little synopsis on everyone who signed the document and a little bit about them. And it's just a great little booklet for just quick education on it. The Bill of Rights, also really important. And then I have this thing called the Federalist Papers, which was written by Alexander Hamilton, John May, and James Madison. And this is actually really, um, this is kind of harder to read. I haven't even, to be honest, I haven't read this. I started it, and it's a little bit tough to read, but when you're in it, you kind of see where they're going with it. On on our freedoms. And so anyway, these documents were put together for a very particular reason, right? They were put together for the fact that yes, I am back. I have been back every every morning. Um, and yeah, no, I see Facebook user again, the name. So somebody wrote. So I apologize that for some reason I don't get to see the name of the actual person. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes I just get Facebook user. So I apologize. So please just let me know who you are, so I know exactly, so I can properly um, say hello. So okay, so those are the Federalist Papers and the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. These documents are the reason why we have the freedoms that we have. It's the reason why we have to build a wall, right? It's the reason why people are just coming in by the border is open, right? So now we're just getting thousands and thousands of people coming in, unvaccinated, with whatever is happening at the border. I know that the media is some of the media is covering it. Surprisingly, it's a disaster down there. What has happened recently with the reopening of the borders, without any kind of they want to just get rid of the whole border and just open it up. um, but it's become a disaster down there, and a really a real problem. So it's the reason why this country has these regulations of people wanting to come here. We want people to come, but they have to come through a certain system. They have to become, they have to arrive here. They have to go through a process, because everyone wants, no one is running to the other side. Why is that? Why is no one is leaving America to go into a socialist country because socialism is so great, or nobody's running to a communist country because communism is so great, right? It's just not happening. Um, so these freedoms have created a entitlement to some degree to some people, and that entitlement is in the form of offended people who are offended by certain things. Now we're living in a really strange time right now. I mean, if you can see some of the nonsense that's being talked about and being canceled, the whole Mr. Potato Head, he shouldn't be a Mister. We have no genders here, even though science says there's only two genders. There's apparently there's more that somebody found, but Mr. Potato Head is done, right? There's Dr. Seuss. A couple of those books are talked about as not being reprinted again, and you can still find them for, like, if you have $4,000 and you want to go on Amazon or eBay and you want to buy some of these books, that's on you. Um, but apparently those books are being squashed, and just a lot of other nonsense things, and it sort of takes away our ability to make a decision, right? We are Americans. We are free people. We are the ones that people look up to. This country has produced some of the greatest music ever. The world is inspired by the creation, by our movies, by mainly our entertainment is huge all over the world. I mean, it is, when you go anywhere and you talk about the blues, how many bands in Europe um, basically based their whole life, their whole careers on the blues, from the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, the Who. The list goes on and on and on of all these amazing artists. They'll reference Elvis Presley. They'll reference Muddy Waters. They'll reference Robert Johnson and BB King, Albert King, right? All these amazing artists, Buddy Guy. I don't want to leave anybody out, but these amazing artists that really inspire the world. America's films have really are the focal point of other countries. Really, when a movie is coming out here, an international star like a Tom Cruise or a Will Smith or a I don't know, name your superstar. One of our superstars, Brad Pitt. Um, I mean, we can go back too, right? We can go to Marlon Brando. We can go back to all these great, amazing artists that really inspire the world. So our country, in a very short amount of time, in about 250 years, has created such an amazing foundation for liberties and for freedoms in the world, that the world loves America. Now, people will say, "Oh, we're a laughing stock." When Trump was president, we're a laughing stock. When Obama was president, people they're taking advantage of us, and that happened because, and that did happen. That stopped, but now it's happening again, and it's a very tragic place to be, especially when you're someone who's fairly vocal about uh, certain views, and I have the right to be vocal, right? It's in these books, especially in this one, right? It's in the Constitution, right? I have the freedom of speech, um, and but the what's happening is the platforms are not really following these guidelines. They're controlled by money. They're controlled by other, special interest groups that are interested in promoting their whatever their agenda is, mainly making money and controlling and mainly making money, right? That's the main thing. Which, nothing against making money, because we're a capitalist country, which is capitalism is great. And even countries that people say, well, socialism works in this country. No, it doesn't. It first of all, I can give you some numbers on any country that you can actually throw at me, that where you think socialism is the key thing, and I will show you some capitalist numbers in that country. You just throw it at me. I will give you some information. But the idea that these platforms control the narrative and control your communication, and I'm on these platforms right now, right? Because this is what's available to communicate to an audience. But there are others that I'm on as well. I'm on Twitch. I'm on some other platforms that are equally as powerful, and more are coming. By the way, there's a lot more platforms being developed right now that are not using these restrictions and I'm on a lot of these, the Parlor, which is back, and there's one called .com, I believe, or com something. I can't remember the name of it now. Com Plus, that's what it is. A couple of other ones, Gab and MeWe, and all these platforms. And I throw myself on all of them just because you don't know which one is going to be the one that takes over, right? Which one has the best, the one that compares the most to Facebook. Facebook is a monster, man. Facebook is an amazing tool. It's an amazing platform. What they've done with it. Unfortunately, what's happening right now is sad, but I don't think Facebook is going anywhere because there's just way too much money and there's way too much at stake. So I think that they will do some cleanup at some point. I think that they will be allowing more freedoms. And if you're offended by something, the simple thing is to just turn it off, or unfriend people. I've unfriended people. I've been unfriended like more times last year than in the history of my Facebook life. And I got on Facebook in 2007. So, um, it's fine. I'd much rather have those people go away, right, than to stay and constantly argue. And I was just getting rid of people that really had. See, the thing about life is value, right? It's about providing value to other people, and that's what a person's life should be about. It should be about helping your family and then helping others do well, whether that's in speaking, whether it's just living a good life, whether it's church activities, whether it's volunteering at the local soup kitchen, whatever it may be. It's life's about helping others and providing value to them. If you're sitting at home, and you don't really go out and help people as a thing, well, then you're missing out, first of all, because helping people is really one of the joys of life, and it really does give you such joy, and it provides riches that you wouldn't understand if you're not doing it. It really is a wonderful thing to do, to help others, right? And that's what life's about. And when you're talking about social media and you're trying to help people, and I do this morning show because I want to try to provide value to others. It's also a bit of therapy for myself, just to be able to communicate during this time where I don't get out as much. I had a wonderful weekend where I got to meet two bands, where I got about 20 people in all. I got to have actual conversations, and all using the protocols, because I always have my mask to cover up and stuff. But it was still a wonderful experience to meet new people, and to help them, and that was just a joy. So that's part of the what's happening on the platforms, where they've decided what is the proper communication, and that's a very dangerous thing. That's the getting rid of books, that happened in Nazi Germany, right, where they got rid of certain books. Getting rid of people's guns, again, Nazi Germany. You can actually align a lot of the actions with that. You get people being persecuted for communicating, right? That's total fascism, right? People being executed, people being arrested for not doing certain things. That right there is straight up fascism. So we're heading down a very dangerous and slippery slope right now, when it comes to our freedoms of freedom of speech. And just real quickly, seek to live with the truth. And that's really how I live, because there is only one truth, right? There isn't two, right? There isn't two truth. There's only one truth. Now, they can be people that have variations of that truth, and their own estimation will be a little different on seeing the truth. Like this hat, somebody will say is yellow. Somebody else will say, well, it's mustard. Somebody else will say, well, no, it's a little bit of a lighter orange. But there is only one truth, right? There is only one color, and if you go and you identify this and you really research this hat, it'll tell you, you'll see in the catalog where I got it, it's one color, right? It's one color. Same thing with viewpoints, right? You could have everyone could have a different viewpoint on certain things, but at the end of the day, it's one truth, right? And our responsibility is to try to seek that truth and try to research what we're seeing, and not just listen to something on the news and be like, oh my God, that's crazy, or whatever it is. You have to be like, what is that? Is that true? Let me take a few minutes. It doesn't even take long these days, right? You can't go to you can go to some platforms and just Google it, or get a newspaper, or go to some sites that that are neutral. They are out there. You just have to know which ones to go to, and find out, is this true. Like videos has been one of my incredible interests. How a video of someone saying something gets chopped up and put out to present one narrative in one direction, to really either skew people from the truth, and to shift things in the way and then you go and you go, well, where's the full video, and you find it, and you watch the full video, and you're like, well, that's not what happened. That's not at all what happened. That's not even what was said. Fascinating that people aren't aware enough to just go out and look and be like, let me find out, is this true? They just take it for what it is. Well, it's on the news, it's got to be true, right? And that's like the dumbest thing I ever heard. So seek to live with the truth. False data, right, which is false information, false data can cause one to make stupid mistakes. It can even block one from absorbing true data. One can solve the problems of existence only when he has true data. If those around one lie to him or her, one is led into making errors, and his survival potential is reduced. False data can come from any sources: academic, social, professional. Many want you to believe things just to suit their own ends. What is true is what is true for you. No one has any right to force data off on you and command you to believe it, or else. It is not true for you. If it is not true for you, it isn't true. Think your own way. Um, think your own way through things. Accept what is true for you. Discard the rest. There is nothing unhappier than one who tries to live in a chaos of lies. And that's what's happening right now. The way to happiness lies along the road to truth. Do not tell harmful lies. And this is actually just little things, just to let people know what to not lie. don't don't lie. So a lot of these networks, major networks that we are that have a one agenda thing, have been sued so many times that you don't read about. You can find out. I think I can't remember which one, but the one that I won't even say the names of the media companies, but one of them, the most famous one for fake news, was sued like 200 and something times, where they had to pay out. And you can get those numbers actually, because that is public information. um there's that protects something that's protecting an organization from not really giving the truth, right? That's so incredible that we're living in a time when there is an organization who can just write whatever they want to write, or say whatever they want to say, or twist a video and edit it, the way that they want it to be viewed. That really is the danger of our country. Now, there's a lot to go into this. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to this subject. Unfortunately, in this medium, I only have a little bit of time here this morning to bring this up. But I wanted to talk about it because I wrote something yesterday about the whole the performance on the Grammys by an artist, two female artists that were basically stripping on stage, and the fact that this was okay, and somebody was defending it as well, this is adult entertainment. And I thought to myself, well, I guess kids don't watch television. And then the cancellation of Dr. Seuss is bad, but this on TV is basically two strippers on national TV is okay. Very, very disgusting behavior of the networks and all of them. Just really lowering the standards of our country, risking there are kids that watch TV. Okay, it's an adult show. Well, was there a disclaimer at the beginning? Did it say? I don't know, maybe there was. I didn't see it. I saw it, but I saw bits and pieces of it. um so maybe there was a disclaimer, viewer attention, viewer discretion is advised. Maybe that was there. If it wasn't, shame on you, because kids are up watching TV, and if you think that they're not, then you're definitely have not been paying attention, or you don't have kids. But it's very damaging, and I hope that the future, truth will be, and it will. Truth will always come out. The truth is always going to win. Good people are always going to win. It's just how much damage can lies do before we get to that point, and that's where it gets scary. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We will have more on this in the future. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know any opinions that you have, or anything that you feel that I missed that I should cover, or if you're completely against me and you think that Mr. Potato Head needs to get the hell out of here. There is no Mr. Potato Head. First of all, it's a potato, right? Potatoes don't really talk. Um, well, actually, that's not true. I have a couple of potatoes I actually have seen. A couple of vegetables are talking a lot these days. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Make today great. Do what you love. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. And as always,